man, tennis preacher, psychic, prophet, coming back at you again with another video. Okay, people, one of the subscribers, they made an interesting comment. It was one of them. They went through my videos and they gave me a compliment that they liked my videos, and there was a couple things they disagreed with, but they saw my point, and that's cool. And there was one of the videos they went through about, you know, where I said that the Djokovic got the highest level. He showed the highest level, but he's not. But Federer is the greatest. Okay, and so he said. Now he didn't say. That's the funny thing about it. He didn't say that Djokovic was the greatest, but I think he implied that because he said, which is fine. He said, I see your point about having the highest level, but possibly not being the greatest, but I actually disagree with that. Now, let me just say something about that. And I made this clear in the video. I do believe having the highest level, that is a big measurement for being the greatest of all time. And you can, if you can sustain the highest level beyond the longevity of your fellow players who's competing with you for the greatest of all time, you will be the greatest of all time. But the Djokovic fell a little short, people. And I made that clear in the video, that the Djokovic for 5 years, he got one of the best 5 years of all time between him and Rod Laver and Federer. And the Djokovic could have him beat. I'm not totally sure, but he could have him beat there, that 5-year peak. But the Djokovic, like I said, look at him now. He didn't make it. He got 12 majors. And look at, not only does Federer have him beat with the sustaining. That's what the Djokovic did. Okay, listen. 5 years, somebody may say, 5 years is a long time, tennis prophet. Ain't that long enough to sustain? Yes. If there wasn't a Federer and Nadal that sustained longer than 5 years. That's the problem. See, had there not been a Federer or Nadal who sustained so long at a high level, that's why the Djokovic didn't quite get it. He almost made it, y'all. He got hurt and then had the marathon problems and started tripping in his personal life, and that's part of being great. Look at the Djokovic now. Did y'all hear him in the news conference in the Wimbledon when he lost and got put out in the second round or third round or whenever he lost in the Wimbledon? He didn't even sound like the great player. He sounded like a little, you know what? I don't want to use the word right now. But listen, if the Djokovic would have been able to sustain the level for a couple more years, I would agree with the guy that, hey, if the Djokovic would have had almost 18 or 19, definitely if he would have sustained that high level for 3 years, but he didn't do it. And Federer, look at Federer now, sustaining high level. And plus Federer got 19. So to me, it's very clear that Djokovic that Federer is the greatest. But now let me say something now. This brings up another point. Actually, this is what I just wanted to bring that up about why I'm getting ready to get into the topic I'm getting into now. Okay, listen, people. I did say, when I did a video on the greatness of the Djokovic, I said I understand why somebody would say that Djokovic is the greatest of all time, because of that high level, that he's shown the highest level on the court. Okay? So this is what I want to talk about right here, is that everybody, you know, this whole greatness debate. Now listen, I know I probably shouldn't make this video because not everybody gonna say, well, if somebody doesn't like Federer, they're gonna say, well, Nadal's the greatest of all time, or this guy's the greatest of all time, or this guy's the greatest of all time, or this guy's the greatest of all time, whoever they like. But I'm going to make this video anyway. There are a few people that got some unbelievable statistics or achievements that if someone said they were the greatest of all time, I will understand why, and I wouldn't make a big deal about it. And the Djokovic is one of those. And what the Djokovic has is that highest level of play. So if the Djokovic fans made them raise money and had a big fundraiser and built the Djokovic Museum and called it and put on the museum that the Djokovic is the greatest of all time. You know what? I would disagree with that personally, but I wouldn't like, and if they invited me to the museum, I would go. I wouldn't call those people crazy, because the Djokovic is that high level he's shown is that great, but I would still give it to Federer though. But, and also, let's say Jimmy Connors. Jimmy Connors got 109 total titles. That includes majors too. If the Jimmy Connors fans built a Jimmy Connors museum and said Jimmy Connors is the greatest of all time, we don't care about what y'all say about Federer and Rod Laver. Jimmy Connors got 109 singles titles, and Federer only got 95 now. I don't believe he gonna catch Jimmy Connors. You know what, people? I would still probably say give it to Fed, but I understand. Listen. I understand. I wouldn't call those people stupid. If they invited me to the museum, I wouldn't say I'm not going because I got Federer as the greatest of all time or Rod Laver. I would go to the Jimmy Connors Museum. I understand why they would say Jimmy Connors is the greatest of all time. Okay? So like I said before, you know, I may do a separate video on other things that could make somebody the greatest of all time. But you know, at the end of the day, listen, there may be a consensus that Federer or Rod Laver is the greatest of all time. But you're gonna have some minorities that have a legitimate argument for 2 or 3 other guys. And the Djokovic and like a Jimmy Connors is one of those, and they got something to show for it. Okay, people. I guess what I'm saying is that this greatness debate, the greatest of all time debate, you know, it could be settled 70%, but there's going to be probably a 30% that would never be settled, because there'll be people that got their own subjective view, and that's fine. Here's my thing. Long as you make sense in what you're saying, if a Jimmy Connors fan said Jimmy Connors is the greatest of all time because he got the most singles titles in the open era, I get that. No problem. I get it, okay? And if somebody said, like the subscriber said, I think the Djokovic, like I said, he didn't say the Djokovic, but I think he was implying the Djokovic. And actually there's a fan that say they think the Djokovic is the greatest of all time because he showed the highest level, okay? If somebody said that, I wouldn't call them stupid. And if they invited me to the Djokovic Museum, I wouldn't say, oh, this is blasphemy, I'm not going. I would go, but I would still give it to Fed, because I know, because like I said before, the Djokovic didn't sustain it quite long enough. And like I said, look at him now. I can't give it to the Djokovic. I can't. He may not even come back to a good level. Okay, people? Tennis Prophet, Tennis Preacher, signing off. Have a good one.